believe. I believe. I believe. I believe. Say it, y'all. I believe. I believe. Come on, let your feet get heavy. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Somebody make some noise in here. Come on, catch it, Jehovah. Jehovah, I trust in you. In you. Oh Lord, say it. Oh Lord, Jehovah, you. I trust in you. I believe. Say it. Everybody say it. I believe you.
I trust. Come on, Dr. Brian, sing with me. Oh Lord, I can't hear you, Dr. Brian.
I can't hear you. Come on, say it.
I'll sing after you stop.
I can't hear you. And you look at that pretty smile. Let me hear it. All our audience says she has a beautiful smile, but man, they don't know about the voice. They'll say something else. Let me hear the voice. Give them a little note.
I'm good.
I can't hear you.
I'm good tonight. I'm good.
I know you're good. You look good too, but I still need to hear the voice. Let them hear the voice. Put everything together. Let's go. I believe.
I believe. That's what you get. I
Believe. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the village. I am so pleased to join you. This is another Thursday, giving honor to God for giving me another week to be here with you to enjoy our time. Andrew, giving me another week. All right, to fix that up for me. Just letting you know that we're here on the village, where we meet every Thursday. Just reminding you that we are dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any point, at any age, starting from today. So tell me, what is it? Success is not just spoken, it is done. What are you doing to be successful? You can join us, ladies and gentlemen, on you could join us on Facebook Live, right on my page, Roderick F. Daly, John L. Sampson. Finally, John L. Sampson.
I know, surprise.
Dr. Joanne Bryant, Sophia Willisey, Andre Doman. You have so many inlet, not even outlet, inlet to get to us. Gospel JA, Tune In Radio, 92.1 FM. So if you're not hearing us, it's because you don't want to, right? So let's get on the ball on internet radio. You can hear us, www.gdradio.org. God's blessing to each and every one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Joanne Bryant. Let me hear one note. Let me hear two notes. Two notes. I want to hear that. Let me hear two notes.
Hello, everyone. How are
I want to hear two notes.
you tonight on this wonderful Thursday evening that we actually get to celebrate life and wonderful weather. So thank God for that. And thank you for joining us this evening.
Where are the two notes?
That's it.
I believe.
Mr. Sampson for the save.
John, how you doing? How you doing on Thursday? What's going on?
I am doing well.
Move your mic over your microphone, your camera over a little bit. I think over your left shoulder. There you go. A little more. Perfect. Right there. It's beautiful. So how is your Thursday going?
My Thursday is going well, knowing that you are not singing.
Hallelujah.
Well,
praise the Lord.
Yes.
I asked Dr. Brian to sing.
Listen.
She refuses, so somebody has to do it.
Leave Jonathan Nelson and let him do his thing, because he's doing an amazing job singing that song all by himself.
So let me start off. How was Lorette Pierre's birthday? Tell me how that went. Go ahead.
Oh man,
Mama Pierre, how we doing, Mama Pierre?
Had a ball. She had all her grandbabies, her babies, and the 7 other celebrants. So it was awesome just to spend time to celebrate my mom one more year. I'm grateful. Actually, my niece's birthday is today. She turned 4.
Hey, I'm
You
talking
know?
about your
Pick
mama
up
first.
your
Let's
niece.
talk about
Pick
your
up
mama
your
first.
niece.
No, listen. We thank God for mommy, because without mommy, it would be none of us. So grateful for that. Grateful.
All right.
But she
So
had a
she
great
celebrated.
time. Yes.
She celebrated her 65th birthday again.
She did. She did.
All right. So she's fully able to retire now.
Oh, mommy's retired. She's living
We didn't
life.
ask you that. I didn't ask you how long ago she retired. I said she's now at retirement age. She's finally reached the 65.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, she had, you know.
She
I
did.
got you. So you say your niece's birthday's today too?
Araya. Yeah. Little 4-year-old. Now she's 4 and grown.
She's at 4-year-old, they're grown.
Mm-hmm.
Until they get grown and realize that growing ain't all that is worth. It's grown up to be. Wait till they can't wait to get, yeah, John, you know that, right? Or wait till I'm 13, they get to 13. Wait till I'm 18, they get to 18. Wait till I'm 21, they get to 21. Oh, I'm 21. I got to get out of my parents' house. I got to do this.
The bills.
All right, I got to turn back 13 again. You know,
the bills. That's what it is. It's the bills.
It's not just the bills, you know, it's also the responsibility that comes along
It's
with
the bills. It's the responsibility of paying the bills.
Oh, say that again.
You know, mommy doesn't have to, mommy or daddy don't, it's not there to wake you up to go to work. You know, it's you go to school, you're on your own.
That's true.
Right. You know, and make food. Right. Make food and everything else that you need.
So like we tell all young people, enjoy being young. Enjoy being young always. Because that opportunity you don't get to get back anytime after you turn.
Yeah. Enjoy being young, except for if you're a multi-millionaire and you don't have to take a vaccine and you can sit out a whole season for the NBA, man, and miss out on $30 million. That's what grown folks do. Is that right? I don't think so.
You know, and the funny thing though about all of that, ladies, if you don't know this,
you want to tell them what's going on with that.
I'm not telling him nothing. I'm just saying. If you don't know what John is alluding to, is he's talking to the point guard Kyrie Irving.
And you know, and the topic of, you know, Doc, I belong to a basketball team concept. 95% of the NBA are vaccinated.
Actually, it's more than that.
I'm still waiting for his explanation why he is not getting vaccinated and basically thinking about himself instead of the team. You know, so that individuality concept, you know, this is a team sport, a team effort. You know, you're letting down your team. You know, there are other people who says, you know, well, you know, I don't know enough. Well, you know what? Take your time, study the vaccine, and then make your determination. You know, I'm tired of all these conspiracy theories about this vaccine. It does this. Somebody dies here, that. So many more people have died because of COVID. How many people have died because they have taken the vaccine? I mean, I would love that number. And let's do the comparison. So, I mean,
John, it's not a vaccine. It's not a vaccine. It's not a vaccine.
What is it then?
It's not a vaccine. Go ahead, John. I'm just.
So, Doc, Doc, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Doc.
I'm rolling my eyes. You know, I'm rolling my eyes.
I can understand you rolling your eyes, but the whole point, Doc, there's a team. You got your team. This is your team, and you believe, you know. So then, as a result, you really don't. You got to take in consideration your teammates. This is a game, so do your homework,
John.
Do your homework.
I gotta add one thing to that, right? People are looking at this and comparing it to the Colin Kaepernick stance.
No comparison whatsoever.
I didn't hear that at all.
No, that's what they're doing. It's, oh yeah, you got to. First of all, he's not going to get the support because the vaccine is not racial. It's not black. It's not white. It's a vaccine. Well, whether you want to say it's a vaccine or not, that's on you. There's, you know, whether you want to take it or not. Mm-hmm. Well, like the what was it? The GM or the manager said, right? Is your choice.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to live with your choice.
And your choice impacts other people too.
Exactly. So we might be getting Ben Simmons because we know Ben Simmons got his vaccine.
We don't want
maybe
Ben
the next we'll
Simmons.
do a straight
We
one-on-one
don't
straight.
want Ben Simmons.
You don't want Ben Simmons?
Nah, we don't want Ben Simmons.
Anybody agree with him out there? Why not?
I want to hear the villagers. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this, villagers.
But listen,
please.
Ben Simmons is the 6'6", 6'5", 6'6" guard.
Yeah, but my man can't shoot. He can't
Simone,
shoot.
How you doing?
He can't shoot.
Simone, hold on, Simone. You sent me the commercial. I forgot, but you sent it to me as a watch. Don't you have it itself? I want to put it out there, especially since we're talking about the vaccine now. So if you can WhatsApp it to me, because you have my number. So WhatsApp it to me, and we'll play it for you right then and there. One of our local listeners, as I told you last week, was doing her commercial. But yeah, you sent it to me, but send it to me on my phone on WhatsApp.
Good evening, Mr. Garrett. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you. So why not Ben Simmons though?
I don't want Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons can't shoot.
Well, we don't need him to shoot. We got.
Yes, we do. We need a scorer. We need a scorer.
No, don't tell me that Ben can't score.
He does not have an outside shot.
But you don't need him to have an outside shot.
No,
you have Kevin Durant
you do.
And James Harden.
Yeah, no, we need an outside shot. Look at the other teams. We need an outside shot, consistent outside shooter.
So you say James Harden and KD can't do it?
James Harden and KD, they can do it, but having another ball player makes it that much easier and takes a lot of strain and stress off of them. It's all about longevity. You have 82 games. You have an 82-game season. You know, it's all about attrition. Who can last the longest? So, Doc, yeah. I still didn't hear your point of view on this, Doc.
On what, the team?
Yeah, the team concept. Kyrie Irving's decision not to be vaccinated versus his responsibility to his teammates.
Listen, that's his choice. That is his choice, his prerogative. He do what he wants.
So what about the team? Isn't basketball a team sport?
Yeah, but New York City is the only one that's enforcing it to the point where they are doing
Not
it.
true.
Then California. So, so New York City.
And John, you want to hear something? Those are Democratic states.
Yep.
And then California. So, I go with whatever he wants.
But here's something interesting, Joanne. The United States, as a country, says you have to be inoculated to be able to enter. Right? You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that every state doesn't have the same response.
Right. Just like Florida decided that they're not going to enforce 100, a business that have 100 plus individuals will not enforce the vaccine mandate. So everyone is taking a different stance and they're deciding what they want. So, the president could say whatever he wants, but people are doing their own thing. So there's a disconnect overall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I wonder if we had a Republican president, if they state, hey, we want this to happen, would they enforce it or would they not?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. And what's also interesting is that there's no division between Democrats and Republicans who are taking the vaccine. Right? There really is none. So you have Republicans who are crying out.
They don't want to be enforced.
They don't want it to be. And you also have Republicans who are like, you can't come near me if you're not vaccinated. So it's not even along party lines.
Mm-hmm.
It's more along racial lines than party.
You said racial lines?
Yeah.
Elaborate.
there's a higher percentage of blacks. So the blacks, I don't know the exact number, so maybe Andrea can look that up. But the percentage of blacks who have not taken the vaccine is literally, so 50% of Americans have taken the vaccine. But the majority of the 50% are white. So I don't know the exact number, so I'm gonna throw it out there. Like, let's say the whites are 60%, the blacks are 30%. So it brought it down to 50 because there are more whites than there are blacks. You get what I'm saying? So the majority of people taking the vaccine, percentage-wise, are whites, not blacks. And it doesn't have anything to do with Republicans or Democrats. And it's in every state. Now, there's some states like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, California that have a higher number. And those states have a tendency in presidential races to vote
Democrat. But it was mandated. Those states mandated people to take it. And after mandated, that's when the president decided to mandate as well.
No, but what I'm saying to you, though, is now all of those states have governors who are Democratic, but they have not been the same. Like Chris Christie, New Jersey, Pataki, New York. I forgot the Connecticut one, but there are a couple in there. Then also California had a few Republican governors, including Ronald Reagan, who was, I believe, was one of our best presidents. I don't care what John said. Says about Ronald Reagan, our Republican president.
Damn chair over, man.
I'm sorry. I'm getting bossed around by the big guy. Yeah. Oh, so all right. So let's pull up the data a little bit, demographical data, and then we move on. So it's buffering, of course. Huh?
Plug me in, please.
You are plugged in.
I don't hear myself.
We can hear you.
We can definitely hear you. Oh, you can't hear the headphones. But we can hear you, Try. You good. Try again.
Can you hear me? I can't hear myself.
All right. So let's put this right here.
I still can't hear myself. Nope. Yeah. It ain't working.
Yeah. John is not using the headset. Right. All right. So here we go. Ready? So whites race. Let me just read this. So the people with at least one vaccine to date. Total population age 15, right? So whites make up 70.4% of the United States, right? 70.4% of the United States.
That's it.
Okay, so that's what we're looking at right here. Of the number of people taking the vaccines, that's 70.4% of whites who have taken the vaccine.
Okay.
The blacks, who make up 17% of the United States, only 15% of those have taken it. Right? Asians, they make up 14 point. No, correct. Asians make up 9.2%. Only 14% of them have taken it. And then others make up 3.2%. 1% have taken it. By ethnicity, Hispanics, 21%.
I can hear.
Right? And I can hear you though. And then, so people claim to be Hispanic. It's 21% of them have taken the vaccine, whereas they make up 16% of the country. And blacks, overall non-Hispanic, they make up 82% of the country, and that 78% of those have taken it. So the larger percentage of people, blacks, African Americans, right, have not taken the vaccine. Okay. So it's clearly blacks overall, it's a racial thing. It's actually a race. Like black says, I'm not taking it. And that is obviously 14.1% of blacks have taken it. So therefore, and where do we get? I'd like to tell where we get our numbers from. This is COVID-19 vaccine,
And
right, related to
suffering?
New York State. This is from the New York State website.
Black.
And hold on, John. I'm gonna let you say it in a minute. But I know, because I hear this all the time, John. They're lying about the data. You ever hear that? The data is lying. The data is lying unless it's anti-vaccine. So go ahead, John. You were saying something.
To me, you know who's really hurting? I see a lot of black-owned businesses, black-owned restaurants.
They're hurting.
They're hurting. They're hurting because people refuse to get vaccinated.
And where are these black restaurants?
Good evening, Mo.
Right.
Sophia. What's up, Sophia?
Thank you, Sophia.
Joanne looks gorgeous. Give me a break. Come on.
Right. Yeah, she does look great. She don't take away from her. We look like scrubs. Look at our beards. Look at her.
Talk for yourself. Don't talk to me.
What
What's up,
was I
guys?
saying? It's the Caribbean restaurants.
Yes.
Right, in the Caribbean neighborhoods, because I went to Footprints the other day. Let me see. One day this week.
Hold on. Hey, Doc, did you get an invitation to go to Footprints?
Not at all.
I got
Me
invited.
neither.
All right.
He invited himself. He didn't
Yeah,
invite
that's
us.
true. Actually, I went to Footprints and you looked at it, right? They were losing business
Why? Because they're
Because-
asking people for the vaccine.
because you need a vaccine card.
So they can.
If you're in a place like Footprints, Suede, down the same block, that strive on Caribbean sales,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if the Caribbean community are not taking the vaccine, you're losing money.
Let me ask you. So, for example, if someone's who's unvaccinated want to place an order, they have to just call it in. They can't go inside the restaurant to go pick it up and come right back
Well,
out.
yeah, that they can do, but if you're
No,
going
no,
out,
Roger, they can't go in the restaurant and dine.
no, they can't dine. That's what I'm saying. They can pick up food, but they can't dine. You can't sit down. You can't. So, I'm going out with my wife. If she's unvaccinated, I'm vaccinated. We can't go to. We can't go out. Yeah, right. And Simone, right? It's a fact that more whites are taking the vaccine than blacks.
It's true. It's
Right.
true.
And but black. The argument is that blacks are making it a racial issue, and I'm trying to explain to black people it's not a racial issue.
How you figure?
It's not the vaccine is not racial.
No. I mean, like in terms, because despite it being the issue itself, but more so, like, are we looking at or addressing or thinking about why it's more whites
So,
taking it?
I always say
Well, you know, more whites are more. Why? The question is, why are more whites taking it?
Yeah, or why did the numbers showing more?
Because we you know, it's unfortunate, and I love my people, but first of all, we're constantly on social media, we're constantly on the internet. This is all
we follow pasa pasa. We say
conspiracy.
yeah.
You know, and I can understand everybody talks about the Tuskegee Airmen, that people talk about other things with respect to vaccines, which I can understand. Those are things to be concerned about. However,
Mm-hmm.
I believe trust. I'm sorry, I'm looking at Andre.
That's right. Andre need to move over. Because we're both looking at him.
This is my point.
Only
Trust-
Joe not looking at him.
Trust, but verify. Do your homework.
I want to
Do
throw
your
something.
homework. And what did they tell? What is the saying?
Andre,
If you want people of color to continuously be ignorant, put it in writing, because we don't take the time to read that fine print. We don't want to put the effort into doing that. Do your homework. That's all. If after you do your homework about this vaccine for yourself, you do your research, you do your homework, and you come up to the conclusion that you don't take it, I can respect that, because you did your homework.
John,
But you got a lot of people who listen to the conspiracy theories, listen to because like some of my friends on WhatsApp, 6 people, 12 people got vaccinated, they died, but they don't tell that they were all in the 80 years old. They were all in the 80s.
and
all
that of
that.
natural causes. And they were dying anyway.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, Andre, if you do me a favor, because I tie this in, and people always say, Roderick, or whatever you want to call me, Roger Kumbaya, Rudy, whatever you want to say, Mr. Daly, whatever you want to say, and to say, why do you make certain statements? I want Andre to look up what's the economic girth of black people in America versus whites, and you'll find that the skepticism is not just the vaccine. Then you look at what percentage of blacks are college educated, right? And it sounds like I'm making some statements that, can be controversial, might be offensive to a few people.
Mm-hmm.
But like John said, if you start reading, you're going to see that there's some correlation. Economically, blacks are the most disenfranchised economically. For what? We're not talking about blame. We're talking about actual situations. How many of us actually, think about for yourself, how many of us actually have life insurance?
True.
How many of us actually own a home?
Mm-hmm.
How many of us are actually college educated? Right? I don't need college. Right? Why do I need college for? I know people who have college education don't have a job. Why do I need to have college education?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
What? Right there.
It sounds bad. Yeah, Doc.
College educated. Now people are losing hope in going to college because of the debt.
But
they're finding other ways to make money besides going to college.
But they're not making money. That's actually the fact. People live, like John said, in a myth. I said to somebody, and I'm going to remind all of you right now, and John can attest to this, even though he might not want to say.
I'm not going to say.
Right. I retired as school administrator. It cost me alone $17,500. I'm just reading Simone's comment.
I know.
Right? That's a baby pause. You wonder, right? Please don't tell black people to read; they will hate you more. Right? Hold on. Let me just finish the last thought. It cost me $17,500. When I was taking it out, right, John? People are like, "Why are you taking out a loan to go to school? You got to pay that debt." So I took out that loan in 2012. Oh, that reminds me. Just remind me about my sister. Just remind me one thing before I forget, right?
Remind you about your sister.
2012, I took out a loan, $17,500. The increase in my salary before I retired, John, between the per session activity, per session means overtime, and my administrative degree was on average from 2014 about $35,000.
Mm.
So was the $17,000 worth it? So sometimes when people are talking about, I got to take out a loan, the question is, what are you going to do with that loan? You go to law school. Yeah, law school costs $150,000 extra in loans. But if you do what you need to do as a lawyer, you come out, you're making $200,000 a year. $150,000, $200,000 a year. Mm. So does it matter that you took out $150,000 loan? It's like saying I don't want to buy a house because the mortgage is $600,000. And if you pay your mortgage, right, after 30 years, 20 years, whatever the number of years is, you don't no longer have to pay rent. Mm-hmm. Right? And you're now saving that money. If a loan is not bad investment if you use it wisely.
True.
That's the difference. We're not talking about, like, I told you have $20,000 in credit card debt, you ask for $20,000. I give you the $20,000, you go pay off the credit card debt and run it back up. That's foolishness. Mm-hmm. That's not an investment in self. So, I don't know. That's what I was saying. Yeah, John. Thoughts?
Thoughts are, we have to have a certain level of financial acumen in order to understand the impacts our decisions, the decisions that we make, and the impact that it has, not only on us, but generationally. And this whole thing regarding the vaccine, please, brothers and sisters, villagers, The only thing I ask is just take the time and just do your homework on this. Don't listen to what other people have said. Don't listen to all the gossip because we love to gossip. We love it. Take your time, do your homework, and make your determination.
How many people don't do the homework? I think, and they're more educated people.
But and everybody, you know what? And as you were saying, Rudy, about taking the loan to invest into your future, that is what everyday people do. We are not the 1%ers.
No,
we can't have we can't have a party like Cardi B and get
a house, right?
a mansion in Dominican Republic as a birthday gift. We are not that fortunate. But you know what?
But you know what?
But hold on. One thing I do respect about Cardi B, that young lady, she was on her grind from day one.
Like Rick Ross.
She exactly like Rick Ross. They knew what they wanted to do, and they put the time.
And Rihanna.
Yeah.
These people put the time and effort into what they want to do. Master your craft. And you know what they did? They did their homework. They did their homework to get to the point where they are right now. And most of all, and I pray that they use their finances to make sure to create generational wealth. Because you look at what Sean Carter, Jay-Z has done, from Marcy Projects to being almost worth
to Hollis,
to being worth $2 billion, and the impact he has by investing in companies to create opportunities for other people. This is a brother from the hood, but he worked hard at his craft and he did his homework. So when I'm saying villagers, when I'm saying brothers and sisters, do your homework. You know what I'm saying? And then Mr. Daly will buy you that mansion in Dominican Republic.
You know what I want to add to that? Many of our entertainers now, recent entertainers, even some of the veteran ones, they might have started off in the rap game, but they used that as a stepping stone into branching off into different areas, similar to Oprah. She started one way as a TV reporter, but branched off into doing other things. So saying that, hey, you'll stick to one thing, you'll retire on one thing, sometimes it works. But, in order to build generational wealth, you have to educate yourself in multiple ways. In regards to if you do start off, for example, in the entertainment field and you see, hey, it's not working well. Yeah, a lot of people do go and do clothing lines or makeup or whatever. I give it to Rihanna. She started with singing, but then she
branched out,
to
diversified.
Right. And that's what we have to do. We have not learned as a culture how to diversify into different areas. We stick with one thing and one thing till we die. But our goal is to educate our young people to learn that, hey, you're good at this. And something might be a hobby and you might develop it if you are, if you're educating yourself business wise, you can develop it into something else. We have a lot of young billionaires and millionaires and we have to learn from that. One way we thought many kids grow up, hey, I want to be a basketball player and that's it. But branching off into different things, becoming a clothes owner or writing your own anything will make it bigger. And that's our goal, to educate people into pushing forward and looking at different avenues to develop. Look at what are they using right now where you go into, people aren't going to hotels anymore. It had to
Airbnb.
There you go. You had to
Hey,
think.
Marietta,
how you doing? God bless.
So, great idea. Develop and you develop franchise.
You know what they come up? You know what they have come up with now, Doc? Extended stays.
Yep. Hey, I want to say three things. One,
three things.
Go back to the Cardi B
You see, he monopolizing the
No,
conversation.
listen.
You see that?
I didn't say nothing for a while.
Okay, that's that. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Three
One, the
things.
Cardi B thing.
First.
Although we might say, it's a lot of money to buy a mansion. One of the things that we don't do is we work ourselves to death. We don't vacation.
That's
So
true.
whereas we might not be able to afford a mansion, we should be able to go use that as an example and say, let's go on a vacation. Take some time out for yourself. Don't work 2, 3. Like, you ever hear that 2, 3 jobs, and after the job is done, you drop dead?
That is true.
Part of that is mental health that you need to develop. So yeah, we can't afford the mansion, but we might be able to afford a home in Guyana, in Haiti, that we can go back and say, you know what? Because to be truthful,
I'm buying a home in Jamaica.
yeah, even that. Hold on. The minimum wage in Jamaica is $7,000 a week.
Wow.
$47.
$7 US?
7,000 Jamaican, which is approximately $50. It's a little bit less than $50.
7,000 US.
So imagine
Sign
that.
me up.
Right? So hold on. So if you own a house in Jamaica, it's $7,000 a week for as minimum wage. I hope you don't plan to pay nobody minimum wage.
That's true.
So even if you go out and say, I'm paying $100, so you're doubling what minimum wage is for the week. And you go to Jamaica, Guyana, Haiti, and you give the equivalent of that money and say, let me build a home with a pool, or have a helper who helped me out for that week that can just relax. That mental health, that de-stressor, even though we don't agree, we can't afford mansions, a 20-bedroom mansion, but is a distressor. Mental health is very important.
It is. You know what? Just to deviate for a second, mental health is extremely important, because you see a lot of people who are incarcerated, a lot of those who engage in criminal activities, they have been diagnosed with some form of mental illness at some point in time in their lives. And it was one of the best kept secrets because of the stigma that they were concerned about in their own communities. And what they masked up that reality with just engaging in deviant behavior, and engaging in criminal activities. Because I've seen it just dealing with dealing with a lot of my clients. You see the impact that mental illness has had on them by being incarcerated. But you try to find out what led to it, and a lot of it was mental illness that went unchecked for decades.
And so
that's why, I thought it would be very helpful tonight, Roderick, that we get you a therapist.
Kumbaya, man.
Help you. I thought that me and Andre came up with that, and then Dr. Brian thought it was a good idea
to get me a therapist.
And Sophia signed off on it.
You know what? I have to go back. And Andre reminded me, Killer Mike. I have to give credit to him because he is about empowering.
Who?
People.
Killer Mike.
Yeah, the rapper Killer Mike. He's been talking about investing in not only your money and not the bank, creating your own type of bank. We had a conversation about that, Black-owned banks.
Yeah, we talk about the
credit
union.
He is one of the big promoters of that, and just educating people in regards to knowing the power of money and just doubling your money. So Black-owned, supporting our own, and investing back into our own community. So you mentioned COVID and how people who aren't vaccinated, the mandate created a whole bunch of things, negative and positive. The negative part is, yes, it is a mandate. A lot of people did lose their job. And like some people say, it was a choice. But when you mandate something on someone, you're going to have pushback. That people decide that they want freedom instead of being told what to do. That's the back and forth with that. So not only did it hurt our school system, it hurt the health system. It's hurting our economy as a whole, where we're supposed to be growing and developing and building from this pandemic, but it's making it worse by creating a mandate. Yes, we understand that, hey, the vaccine is so-called supposed to help, but mandating is causing a bigger effect. So, I don't know.
And just like you talked about it, and Mo, just thank you for that comment about with schools and the medication that they give to our children, but at the same time, they're mandating in schools that our kids take certain medications to deal with what they perceive to be mental illness to handle their behavioral problems. They're
And a
just
lot of
sometimes it's
pushback
just
from that.
plain behavioral problems, and you don't need to be mandated to take certain medications in order to subdue them to deal with their behavioral problems. Like my mother said, you can play crazy if you want to, but excuse the expression, but a good cut ass will make you
straighten you
sing,
up.
will straighten you out, make you sing quickly.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: a lot of drugs, a lot of our kids were put on different types of ADHD drugs that later
That's
they
the
realized
first thing they always want to put you on.
right.
Yep.
And the thing is, it's not that they need these drugs or anything. They just need resources and outlet to release some of the energies that they have, and they need people to talk to. So just meeting kids where they're at makes a world of a difference, instead of putting them on becoming an addict later on. Come on, we can't put kids to become dependent on drugs in order to make them behave a certain way. That's not going to work.
Doc, Doc, you are totally correct about that, and that's why it's important we as hosts here at the village allow our villagers to talk about issues that really have an impact. And a young man that I like to bring on at this point in time, who has been very instrumental while working in City Hall, doing a lot of things to assist people in our communities. And he ran for the city council, although he wasn't successful, but he did make an impact in his community. And what he's doing now is monumental. So at this point in time, I'd like to bring on Harold. Harold, what's up,
Hi,
my brother?
how you doing?
We're blessed. You're here with the Rude Boy, Rudy, along with Dr. Joanne Bryant.
Some of my favorite people right on this line here.
thought I was your favorite person. You ain't say nothing
He
about
said,
Rudy.
no,
and
no, no,
Dr.
no.
Bryant.
He said some, so he included you. You should.
Oh.
He didn't want to exclude you and make you feel bad, so he has to throw you in there by saying some. No, I read that. I read right through that, Mike. Harold, we good.
No, John knows one of my favorites.
So, brother Harold, man, what's going on, man? What's happening? Give us the 411, the 211, the 311, whatever 11 you want to give us.
Well, last time I was here, I was running for city council, and what I say to everyone that no matter what the outcome was, that the work doesn't stop. And right after the election, I took a little time off to recharge, and an opportunity came about for me to work on a charter revision commission, and that is focused on racial justice. And as soon as that opportunity came about, I jumped right on it. And so since August, I serve as Deputy Executive Director for the Racial Justice Commission, NYC Racial Justice.
Tell us about that commission, huh?
Yes. So it's a charter revision commission that was formed by the mayor back in March. So for those listening may not know what a charter is. The charter is the city's constitution. It dictates our laws in the city. The one that establishes offices and agencies. And it also lays out the duties, responsibilities, the processes, how the city should be governed. And so the Charter Revision Commission is formed either by the city council or the mayor, and this time the mayor formed this one, that will take a comprehensive review of the charter and will determine if there's amendments need to be made to the charter. And so this commission is specifically looking at how to root out structural racism in city government. And, we understand that we're not going to end racism with a charter revision commission, but want to take this opportunity to identify structural issues that exist in our city.
Wait, I gotta interrupt you.
Sure.
Was that Noah I just saw running back there?
Oh, Quincy, actually.
It was Quincy.
Yes.
Hey, Quincy.
Quincy supposed to be doing his homework.
He can't hear you?
No, he can't hear me because I'm on my headset.
You're on the headset. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
So no, that's Quincy. Quincy, third grade now, supposed to be doing his homework. So that's what I was doing, up to 2
So his homework was running back and forth.
Yeah. So he's taking advantage of me on the radio.
All right.
But the commission goal is to root out structural racism in city government. And we know that we're not going to solve all problems with one commission, but we want to take a significant chunk and make bold steps in that process.
You know what? Who else is on this commission?
So glad you asked. I was going to say we have Jennifer Jones Austin as our chair. For those who may not know, she is the CEO of Protestant Welfare Agencies. The daughter of William Augustus Jones, a longtime pastor in Brooklyn. We have Henry Garrido, who is the vice chair, who is the executive director of DC 37. It's a total of 11 commissioners. Kay Bain, who has done a lot of work in Brooklyn and Queens around the Cure Violence movement. Anna Bermudez, who's the commissioner of Department of Probations. Deputy Mayor Phil Thompson. Joanne Yu from the Asian Federation, Chris Q, who is a former executive director of the Chinese Planning Council, Yesenia Mata, who is the executive director of La Camina in Staten Island, Derek Hamilton from the New School, one of the leading thought leaders on critical race theory. As well as Lurie Daniel Favors from Medgar Evers College, who is the interim executive director for their School of Law and Social Justice.
Terms on this commission?
It's 2-year term, so it will end in November of 2022.
Well, go back. But you said you're the deputy executive director.
Yes.
That there's a commission, and then, if I'm understanding clear, you work for the commission.
Yes.
So therefore, it's still a term, or that's employment. Like you're the person carrying out the work that the commission does. So
the commission.
You're not termed, right? You're not. Are you termed as well? 2 years?
Well, the position is termed. So though I'm paid by the city,
you would understand.
No. I know what a board is. There's a board.
If you pay attention, you would understand it, but he wasn't paying attention.
I thought I was, but all right. Okay.
The life of the commission is 2 years, and once the commission ends, my position will effectively will end as well. But that's also up to the new mayor. He can also extend the life of the commission, can form something else out of it. Totally. Their prerogative.
Now, was this birthed out of all that happened with George Floyd in regards to the Asian, what was happening with the attack on the Asian individuals? Why did he create this?
Great question. So a couple of things happened around the same time, as we all know. We had, police violence, going on around the country. COVID disproportionately affected Black and Brown communities, and highlighted the inherited disparities that exist, for people of color, particularly around health, and then as well as where you had the former president of the United States. Racially stoking animosity towards Asians, particularly, calling, COVID the China flu, things like that. And saw a correlation of a rise of hate crimes against, Asian New Yorkers. So with all that, we could always have formed a racial justice commission, because there's always been racial injustice that's been forming. But we're taking advantage of this moment and this time to address what the city can do to make it a more racially equitable society moving forward.
Okay. Okay. That works. That works.
So
So,
you know what, Harold? Let me ask you a question. When you talk this institutional, what do you call it? The
Structural racism.
structural racism
Mhm.
in what government agencies? What?
Yeah, it could be government agencies. It could be within, kind of the overall structures within government. It could be the things that government has influence on, whether it be development, whether it be
So what's the
procurement.
biggest roadblock then? What so far? What have you seen as one of the biggest roadblocks?
Well, I mean, there's a lot uh, of what we're uncovering, and we have six inequities of
You have, I'm sorry, you said 6 inequities?
yeah, we identify six inequities, patterns and inequities, better put, that lays out kind of broad strokes of what we feel supports institutional racism. But to answer the direct question, the biggest roadblock I feel that we are learning is that how deeply rooted it is. Uh,
When you
it,
say deeply rooted, is the root based upon the people, those civil servants who are in these institutions?
or just the foundations of the institutions,
So can
the
you,
policies, the culture, the things we take for granted, far as laws and duties and responsibilities, that's passed on from generation to generation.
so
So
Harold, why are you saying that?
mhm.
That's very intriguing, right? Can you give us an example or something that you have uncovered, like people could say when you talk about institutional racism, which we always talk about, and you say you're seeing certain patterns, right, that pass on from generation
I'm
to,
quite sure you can't talk about that now because he's still on the commission and they're doing work.
well, he's,
I don't know if you can.
well,
Well,
I don't
I
know,
could
to the
make
extent that you can.
reference. I could make some references to the report.
Or you can give
That
us some hypotheticals, as we say.
uh, yeah. So for what I can do is I'll talk about some of the inequities that we uncovered, and we can go piece by piece. So some of the inequities is the quality of services that promote social and emotional well-being. The inequities in work and
Did you just
advancement.
say, were we just talking about mental health?
Mhm.
All right, go
Mhm.
ahead. I'm just checking. Just checking.
Yep. Inequities in work, advancement, and wealth building. The inequities within across neighborhoods that inhibit thriving individuals, families, and communities.
Hold on. Let's stop right there.
Okay.
I want to know more about that.
Okay. All right. So just give me a second while I have my little cheat sheet here.
Don't worry. We have ours too. Don't worry about it.
Well, I want to make sure the information we
It's
sharing
called
is
Andre and Sophia.
factual.
Yeah,
Yeah. Shout out to Andre. Yeah. Um, what we wrote here is, we talked about the inequities in employment, and just let me take a step back. The report, this is our interim report. It is a breakdown of what we have heard from our public input sessions that we have been holding since July, and as well as talking to leading experts in various disciplines about what they observe as racism within, whether it be education or housing, economic development.
Mm-hmm.
And so this report is a reflection of what we have heard thus far. So it doesn't actually speak about solutions just yet, or the explicit opinion of the commission itself. It just more talk about how what New Yorkers are saying to us during this process. So, for example, some of the examples laid out here is the lack of economic mobility when we talk about inequities in work and in advancement and wealth building. From the report, it talks about many share that economic systems was not designed to lift people out of pre-existing hardship. Instead, the system perpetuates social, educational, and financial barriers. For example, many BIPOC, that's Black, Indigenous, people of color, New Yorkers, who are already experiencing minimum wage inequities are paying for their own job training, certification programs. Speakers also raised the lack of opportunities for people of color, young adults, to build or learn job skills or earn money. They urge the commission to take action to address the wealth gap that transmits inequities across generations. And you could take it a step further and talk about like a lot of the opportunities that our foreparents, our ancestors were not given, and how we today suffer from that because we don't have generational wealth as a community compared to white people because we weren't given opportunities to thrive 50, 60, 100 years ago, and many will argue we still not given the opportunity today. And so when it comes to, say, someone wants to open a business, when you go to a bank, what do they ask for first?
W-2,
or what kind of capital, what kind of collateral you have. And many of us do not have sufficient collateral to receive loans, to be qualified for consideration by the banks.
I thought it was credit. They want to know credit.
It's
related, a lot of times collateral and credit, correlate. But we're still at a disadvantage because we don't have generations of ownership of property, of businesses from others in the same numbers as white people. And so
let me ask you a question. So you guys identified these issues. Are you there to identify and say, okay, this is what we have observed? Do you also offer solutions? Like we actually were just talking about the economic gap and the economic issues, especially when you talk about blacks, right? I don't like to use the word African Americans. I know that people want to use it, but black. I'm not calling no African American either, right? But the question becomes: does the commission is also charged with the responsibility of what's happening? Because I know we have worked on projects where you and I, where they say, these number of students are not graduating,
right,
but yet still the solution to why you're not graduating is not put forward. So that's what I'm just wondering in that. When you bring that up, and is that something the commission works on, or he just gives it to somebody?
No, so the commission
to work.
Yeah, so the goal of the commission from this point forward is to take these inequities and start to do research on like what can be done within the parameters of the charter, because we know a lot of our laws are dictated by federal and state governments as well, and so it's like, what is in the charter that can start to close the wealth gap? What are the barriers that are supporting the fact that like we don't give enough opportunity for black-owned businesses to thrive in the city, and actually start to see if we can put ballot proposals for voters to vote on that will talk about it. And and our chair Jennifer Jones Austin has said in numerous times that we want to be big and bold in our proposals and really look at structural inequities. And so it makes cut across.
Inequity is the mayor's office of contracting, or it could be not even the mayor's office. It could be the controller's office. The length that it takes for say developers or school administrations to get reimbursed for expenses that they have already expended out. It is ridiculous. And you have to have either a number one credit, a credit line, or a a home
equity,
home equity.
The collateral.
It comes down to exactly. You're right.
Yeah.
So after all of this proposal that they're proposing and they're writing things, what's the next step?
So the next step, in December, we're going to come out with a final report with our ballot proposals that we want voters to consider. as well as kind of a framework of work that we need to do continuing beyond this commission. And then in November of 2022, voters will be able to vote for these proposals.
Okay.
And then vote into the charter.
So I have a few questions. Question number one, you mentioned there were 6, right?
Yes.
6, and I think you only spoke about 1. So
got through 3 so far, but I could go through the rest.
You need to pay attention, Roderick. Okay.
Doc, you hit it right in the head.
He said he only heard 1. The man said 3, and you say 1.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Because
okay.
it all sound like the same thing together. Yeah.
No, a lot of it does connect.
Harold, don't try to take up for him, Harold. Come on now.
No, I gotta stick with my boy Rudy. It's all right. But number four is the marginalization and overcriminalization of BIPOC persons and communities.
Said overcriminalization of
and marginalization of BIPOC, which is pretty much people of color, Black, Latino, Indigenous persons and communities. 5, the inequity in representation in decision making. And 6, the enforcement and accountability of government and entities.
Can you go back to 5 and elaborate on that, on the decision making?
Sure. So from what we heard from people is that lack of community power, lack of decision making, how your community will look, what role do they play in making sure what type of services are in the community, how our parks look, how where businesses can and can't be, is in the hands of few. There's we have community boards, we have our local elected officials, but a lot of people still feel a bit left out in the process of making the decision. And so the question becomes is like, is there something that could be done to empower more people to participate and to have greater power within government decision making? That's the question. And whether or not, you can actually give, or you want to give community members actual co-governing powers and not just ask for advice or, not.
What did you say, Harold, about that?
No, what we're saying is, and we haven't come to a final decision on any of these things, but what we have heard and what we're considering is, how do we actually increase greater participation and greater power for people to have decision-making power in government. And that could go many different ways. And, I don't want to speak out of turn, but just want to give you an example. The city council is 51 members. Is that sufficient? Should it go up to 73? Should community boards have, not just advisory power, but some sort of decision-making power? Should we have greater powers in the hands of the local city council member, where New York City is a very mayoral-dominated structure of government, because they control all the agencies. So those are questions to consider.
Should the mayor have mayoral control over schools?
Right. That's the question. Yeah. And you could ask the same question about any commissioner or any agency, because you look at some other government structures that, you have, the commission or the council, approve or appoint, agency leads. So the question is, do we want to consider that? Does that help, Black and brown people? And so those are things that are being discussed. And, that's why I wanted to come on the show, is to, raise the awareness that this conversation is happening right now.
Right.
through the lens of
Thank
making
you. Thank
sure
you.
that we have, racial equity out of this process.
Mhm.
So I have a couple of, well, let me start with the first question.
Mhm.
I this in speaking to you, I learned of the commission. How does the average person know about this commission? Can they get involved? Can the average person get involved by giving input somewhere? Obviously, they cannot be on the commission,
Right.
but give their impetus somewhere, right? Is that a feasibility, or that's over with? You just have to work what you have. And two, publicize. I think I now know Dr. What's his name? The Asian guy who's now the Department of Commission Health and COVID and the vaccine, right? The black guy and the Asian guy, that are the Indian guy. That's now the doctor. You know what I'm talking about?
Our city doctors. So,
Our city doctors,
Yeah,
right?
who,
Because there's so many commercials, right?
yeah.
The point that I'm making that with that, even though it suggests, is how does this commission become more publicized so that people can get involved?
Well, to answer the second question, we don't have the health department money for advertisement, but that's a different conversation. But to your larger point is that's why I'm going around as its external affairs lead, and trying to leverage all my resources and networks and throughout the city to promote the commission, because it's such an important moment for us. And I don't want, particularly those who I've worked with as an organizer for almost 20 years, not to be engaged and involved in a process some way. And the best way for folks to do it, we have a really dynamic website, which is nyc.gov/racial justice. So that's nyc.gov/racial justice. It has the report on there. It has ways you can be involved, is ways you can give input as well. We have the question of the week, where you can answer questions about the inequities that we laid out. How does it affect the daily life of you and your community?
Right.
And
Right.
what ideas and solutions you can offer? Because we heard quite a bit of good ideas over the last
So
few
how
months.
has the feedback been? Huh?
It's been great thus far. Even the ones that are critical, I think it's helpful. A lot of folks support this work and are excited about what the commission will come up with, and has submitted. We have hundreds to 1,000 plus ideas, given to us thus far on how to make our city better. And then some folks are critical about this process. They're not sure whether or not this process can actually work, because this is kind of its first of its kind here in New York City, where we leveraging the charter to address racial inequities. And and we're out to prove that we can actually do something significant, and make lives better for people of color in particularly. In general, generally we talk about we want to make life better for all New Yorkers. Well, this commission is not really about all New Yorkers. It's about those who've been marginalized,
Right.
people of color. So, bluntly speaking, this is not to benefit white people. This is to make sure our city benefits people of color in a much greater way.
Diversify a little bit more.
You
Right.
mentioned you mentioned the community board. Are you guys going to go to the community boards to talk about your findings? I know Scott Stringer a few years ago, when he found out about findings in the budget.
Scott who?
When he
Scott who?
in the role that he is currently, the controller of
Oh,
New York City.
okay.
He went
Who
around.
ran for mayor
Dude,
and lost?
he didn't just lose.
He got.
He didn't.
Oh,
it was-
guys, stay
it's
focused.
not Miss John.
Come on.
Are you going to be going to the community board, our local organizations or churches? And if somebody wants you to come out to them to talk to the people about the commission, how does that get done?
Yes. So, matter of fact, I have spoken to 8 or 9 community boards thus far throughout the city in the last
17?
week and a half. I will soon, having a conversation with Ms. Frazier, trying to figure out a schedule for that. So, I did reach out.
We definitely can get that done.
Yeah, and I'll be excited to come back to CB17. I was just speaking to Community Board 8 just before I hopped on with you about it, and it was a great discussion about the overcriminalization, of our communities as an example. So, we're going around. I've spoken in all 5 boroughs. The good thing about Zoom is that I could be in Manhattan and the Bronx within 10 minutes. And Queens, and 10 minutes after that, speaking to various community boards. So that's what we've been doing. And if folks want to for me to speak, or someone on the team speak to their community groups or the community boards, you can reach out to me. I'll give out my email, which is H like Harold, the letter C, my middle name Christopher. So it's hcmiller@charter.nyc.gov. So that's hcmiller@charter.nyc.gov is the way you can reach to me, and request for me to come out, or one of my colleagues to come out and and address what the work the commission has been doing, and also get feedback.
Right. Mm-hmm. I agree. Harold, I got to. I just want to commend you, man. I want to commend you for all you have been doing, and it does not go unnoticed. Being on this commission in and of itself,
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal, man. Mm-hmm. And you're doing things that are going to change people's lives. So I just want to say thank you, man. I really appreciate what you do, man.
And I like to add that that the people out there who are listening and understand and get back to watching the show understand that this is something that you talk about. Right. It's not you talk about it at the dining table about the inequities that is happening, and you can't do this, you can't do that. And this brother, is out there letting you know, listen, we're seeing that there are issues, and we're working together to make that happen. So Harold, I want to make sure that we thank you. Hopefully you can get out to, 49 or 59 community boards. I know you can't do it by yourself, but your team, you guys get out there and have conversation, and over that time. So we just want to thank you for that opportunity.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate this platform for always welcoming me to use it and to talk about what's going on, and want your listeners to really engage and go on the website, read the executive summary. If you have the time, read the full report. I know folks are busy, and like me, have kids running around who haven't finished their homework yet. So, so
I know mine haven't either, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, so it just
you're not a bad father. Don't worry about it.
We're trying. We're all trying here. So, but take the time and drop us a note on what you like to see, and what you will like to see as a more racially equitable city. And there's no wrong answers. It don't have to be something that's in the charter. We understand that most folks have no idea what's in it or what's not in it. And to us, it doesn't matter. We want to hear from you, and we will do the hard work of making sure that what we put forth represents what people have said, right, and is legally sound, and that people will support and vote for come next year.
All right. So thank you, Harold, for joining us today on The Village, and we look forward to continuing conversation. You obviously know.
Hey, Harold, also tell the old lady, man.
Where's Tanisha?
Where's Tanisha?
Yeah.
I don't know. Tanisha, are you nearby?
Yeah. Tell her to wave. We just want her to wave.
Nah, I don't want her to wave. Tanisha.
Nah, she can't hear, man. He has on his headset. Yeah, our producer's like, he's freaking out back there. Where's Tanisha? Oh, she can't say. He's muted.
You're muted, Harold.
No, he's talking to Tanisha.
Oh.
Where's Tanisha at? Tell Tanisha I need to see her.
But he mute himself. He didn't even know.
Yeah, we hear you, Andre. We hear you, Andre. Dr. Whaley, we come in.
Still fixing dinner. I was saying John and Rudy wanted to say hi.
They send their greetings.
They send their greetings.
That's it.
Tell her I want to see her.
I actually want to see her face.
I want to see
I'm with
her.
John in this.
I want to see her face.
Don't interrupt the lady, okay, please.
Tanisha.
Hey, what's up, T?
What's up? What's up?
Andre's. I'm telling you, Andre's right here. He's going into conniption. But we just had to say hello.
What's up, T?
What's up?
Yeah.
What's for dinner? What's for dinner?
How are you?
What's for dinner? I heard you making dinner. What are you cooking?
Well, actually, I didn't cook dinner. Daddy did, so I'm just serving it tonight.
Big chicken.
All right.
What is it?
Big chicken tonight.
All right, so I'm coming for dinner. I'm actually.
Yeah, we done. We done in an hour. We right there. All right.
All right. So let's get to Dr. Tanisha Harold. Thank you so
remember
much.
All right, T, you be
Remember
good.
the traffic,
All right.
but it's gonna take you a while to get out here, so I might be asleep.
All right, T.
All right, awesome.
Be easy.
All right, take care. Bye, guys.
Love you.
All right, love
Take
you
care, guys.
Peace,
Bye.
peace. So that's very important. To identify
It is, man.
racial
That whole,
inequity.
that definitely the institutional structural bias that exists is deep rooted, is embedded.
Yeah.
And you look at those individuals who have been there for decades. They are in decision-making positions which have these biases. And hold on,
And they
before we
continue
go
to
to Miss,
perpetuate.
but hold on, before we go to Miss Wiley. And the best example, you know what the best example is that of the institutional racism that exists in the NFL was basically manifested through those emails with John Gruden.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Just think about it. That's just some food for thought.
Yep. Just before we do on Dr. Will, actually, you could bring her up, but then we're just going to show that a real quick commercial. Right. She does the film festivals. So our girl, Simone, she was in her commercial. So Dr. Whaley, how you doing?
I'm good.
You're going to bring it one time because I know you're doing the film festival. So we have to show you our girl when, Simone Anderson. She has
Absolutely.
been. So we're going to show that commercial real quick. Andre, let's know.
Roll it.
Roll the video so we can see. Simone, you're on. Simone, you're on. Simone, let me know if you're still there. You still there, Simone?
Rewind and come again.
It's not loud enough.
I've
Okay.
seen it.
Oh, I see some. Simone, I see you all the time. Oh, that's you. All right.
Is it coming up? It's not loud enough. Well, we're missing the volume. Can we get that checked?
My people, my black people, I am telling you, no one is paying me to do this. Let's go out and get vaccinated. I know the misconceptions are there, but I'm telling you, there is really nothing to be afraid of. I have a friend who's a doctor, and she's black, and she's like, listen, you better get this vaccine, and I trust her. I got my vaccine in March of this year. Yes, I did get side effects for a day, but it was nothing in comparison to when I had COVID. I'm a perfectly healthy woman. I have nothing, no issues, no diabetes, nothing at all that you could think of. I didn't think I could get COVID, but hey, I got it. It was horrible.
Let's pull it for a minute and then we'll probably come back up. All right, so it's the internet week. So, we wanted to show that, well, I did something wrong. Okay, here we go. Pull the commercial. So unfortunately, you're not able to see that, Dr. Whaley, but this is one of our local, one of our ardent, fervent listeners. She listens every week, and she tried to catch us right before she go to Bible study. I'm dead serious. She has Bible study, and then she listens to.
We need that holy water. My man needs to be touched.
Yeah. So what was I trying to do, Andre? Before you walk out, all right, so let's highlight Dr. Whaley, please. So welcome, Dr. Whaley, to the village, where
Namaste, doctor. Namaste.
Where it's really all about the community, where we're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, at any point, starting from today. Success is not just spoken, Dr. Whaley. It is done. What are you doing to be successful? Welcome to the village, and welcome to our village.
Thank you all.
Your volume is low. I'm not.
Is it? Okay. I also have a cold, so I can't. No, my volume is up all of the way. I will come closer, and I'm losing my voice because all of a sudden I got a head cold.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we have some remedies that you can use, like lemon and honey, mix that together,
Yes.
those kind of things.
Yes.
So yes, so you are basically here. Your background is deep.
Okay.
You've been through many walks of life to get to this point. You want to talk to us a little bit about that? Tell us where you started from, and
She
okay.
started from the bottom, and now she's at the top, doctor.
you work all the way up, right? Go
Well,
ahead.
thank you from your mouth to God's ears. I
Amen.
started out as that creative kid. And then, you go through school and you go through life. And then in my generation, they were always trying to discourage you from the arts. In fact, my high school guidance counselor told me I was a Black woman, so I could forget about a career in the arts. So, I wandered around for a while. And the first business I opened was age 30, and I opened up a video store. And we had that for 5 years. And I closed
When you
it.
say video store, you mean like VC, like videotapes?
Yes, sure enough.
All right, Black-owned businesses. All right.
Yes, right in my neighborhood. And you flash forward. I was working for the state at the time, and I realized that I wasn't going to move up unless I went back to college. So I did, and I stayed for 12 years, and then came out and went into special education. And I stayed there for 13 years. No matter what, when you are a creative person and you have a vision in your head of something creative, it doesn't leave you. And then when you run into people who are creative, you also see that frustration. So literally one day, I had my school principal's license. I worked for private agencies, but I literally put in my resignation one day, and I haven't looked back since. We went from a studio on Linden Boulevard, again in my neighborhood, where we had.
Is that the one at Linden and Church?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm in Queens.
No. You said on Linden or the Linden Boulevard in Queens.
In Queens, yes.
Okay, got you.
Yes. So we had a live performance studio. We had jazz, we had hip hop, we had poetry, we had sewing classes, we had dance classes, we had a pop-up shop. I rented the space out to other groups doing the same thing. And actually, it was a friend of mine that said, why don't you do a film festival? And because I had owned a video store, the light just went off. And when I sat down, I said, how can I make our film festival more meaningful? Because with all the different types of genres that I work with, I didn't want to do something that only included one group of people. So our categories are movie shorts, full-length movies, music, dance, poetry, videos, web series episodes, and business commercials. Because as an entrepreneur, trying to get a commercial on TV can be rather expensive. So this way, any business can put their business commercial in the film festival.
Hey, Dr. Wu, you know what? You are
Crazy.
You are well-rounded. I would say that you're a giant. You're a giant in the things that you do.
Well, thank you. I'm not, but I appreciate your saying that. The struggle is real. Okay, the struggle is real.
No, but before we even get to the purpose of you being here, you have to understand that what John is saying, which I completely agree with, it's like you took on the challenge and move forward, right? You didn't let things set you back, right? And it's interesting because what the previous guest, Harold Miller, I don't know if you know of him, right? Was talking about the racial inequities, and you're talking about the business and how that, you talk about that racial inequity, although he wasn't directly attached to what Harold was saying, but that's one of the areas of inequities that he was talking about within the racial commission, and racial injustice commission that was there. And so, but you didn't let that hold you back. You moved yourself along and say, okay, that didn't work. Let me do something else. And sometimes what you find, John, is a lot of people give up.
Right. True.
And you didn't do that. And then, for those of you who didn't hear properly, she was also a high school guidance counselor. We talk about mental health, what that looks like.
Right.
Oh, no, I was a special ed therapist and principal.
Uh-huh.
I was a special ed therapist, supervisor, principal, and evaluator.
Wow.
I was
Right.
never a guidance counselor. It was my
Say it again.
guidance counselor. I was never a guidance counselor.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard say
My
guidance, but
guidance
I
counselor.
heard the special ed though.
Yeah, that was what my guidance counselor said to me to give it up.
Oh, gotcha. That's where they came in. Okay.
Now, I have a question for you. And I add on to what Roderick and John said. Your faith kept you going. What pushed your faith to keep going? Like Roderick says, a lot of people give up. But what was that driving force that says, hey, keep going and you're gonna get to the end of that road, the final place where you're supposed to be?
It's the craziest, two crazy things. Number one, my father. He's been deceased for 28 years, but his voice is still in my head. And he was left-handed, and I'm left-handed. Most people are not. So just being left-handed, I've always felt different. And you don't run into that many left-handed women.
There are 11% of us in the world, and we are great.
Right. And then less than 5%, 0.5% are women. Now, had I known that when I was growing up, I'd be a totally different person. I'm going to be very honest about that. And that's where my confidence was lacking. I had no clue. So it was that. But just again, I grew up in a neighborhood where Count Basie's house was like 5 blocks down from me.
Oh, wow.
James Brown lived around the corner. Fat Swallow was the first. There was W.E.B. Du Bois, Miles Davis, Coltrane. All of those folks lived in my neighborhood. So I grew up in an environment where Black people did it. Natives did it. So in the back of my mind, because I would pass by Count Basie's house, it's right across the street from the park. I've always passed by that house.
That's what we call history.
Yes, that we're losing.
Yes, you're
it's
right.
Unfortunate, and we don't spend the time to learn our history and the sacrifices others made.
Oh my goodness!
So we're put in a position, and we squander it. We do. Yeah, because Fat Swallow moved over here in 1948, and there was a big fight because the Caucasian people did not want him to move in, obviously. And they had to go past laws and everything else. So he was able to move in to Addisley Park. And after that, there was an exodus. And the rest of us, moved in. Mm-hmm. But it was from that one person who said, I have money. I can buy a house wherever I want.
It's funny because you touch on a lot of things. I know we're here and we're going to move on immediately to the film festival. But, we talk about generational wealth and moving forward and what you can do and having ownership back then is so important. But that's another day, another conversation. Let's get to the film festival. Let's talk about that. So tell us a little bit about background and the good stuff.
So from the studio, we did our first film festival in October 2019. I had no clue what I was doing. I just knew we needed to take the whole buffet, including live performances and community awards, and put it in this one festival. And it was 3 days. And to my surprise, people showed up early because we were not ready. I'm like, folks are going to show up late, whatever. We can take our time. There was a line at the door. And because that was successful, I looked around to see what was going on for February 2020, and I didn't see anything. So then we created the Black History Month Film Festival.
Nice.
And funny enough, we had movies from 13 or 16 countries. They were not all Black. They were not. We had a lot of movies. And once again, we filled up the space. People came in early. I'm like, okay. But what I noticed was it's meaningful because we bring all the genres together. Mm-hmm. It is inclusive. It's not, this event is only for this type of artist. This event is only for that one. Everyone can come together, and we have the entrepreneurs there. We have the artists there. The community leaders are there. The precinct is there. And this red carpet. So you have to get dressed up. We do not do the jeans down and sneak out. It is red carpet.
John, this sounds like more of an invitation.
Like that invitation.
23rd at the Jamaica Performing Arts Center. Absolutely. I would love for you guys.
When, Doc? Just when you need us there?
October 23rd at the Jamaica Performing Arts Center in Queens, not in Brooklyn.
That's next Saturday.
Yes.
Next, and
And
it's a
look how
beautiful
calm I look.
location.
All right,
Yes, a
so
beautiful.
so you said you started back with February. We're gonna come back to our invite. You started February last year, right
Yes.
before COVID,
Yes. So we
right?
filled up the place. HBO, Cinemax, Netflix was there. All the politicians were there. The precinct, the 103, thank you. They shut the entire street down as though we were movie stars. People came in. It was
And
such a
we're
big
so
street.
go back. Also, tell us where is the Jamaica Art Center? It's in
It is
Jamaica,
on
Queens.
Jamaica, Queens. It is 153-10
Mm.
Jamaica Avenue.
Okay, 153-10. All right,
It's on the corner.
Beautiful location. Great sound. Great
that's right.
everything.
Let's right next to what's that? Suffolk Boulevard. It's right down the street.
Yes, so
Or
the Long
Parsons
Island
Boulevard.
Railroad is there. All of the buses, the E and the J train.
But that's the major
and-
street though, Sutphin Boulevard.
Yes,
Sutphin
but Jamaica
Boulevard North.
Avenue is the other major street.
Yeah, Jamaica Avenue. Everybody knows that, but Sutphin Boulevard is one that goes north.
Oh, Parsons. I think it's Parsons.
It's Parsons Boulevard?
I don't know the street names. You just go there. You
Gotcha.
know, I've lived here too long to know the street names.
All right. So then after February, then what happened?
After February, we finally actually started breaking even. We made a tiny bit of a profit, and then the world shut down. So I'm sitting there going, I quit my job. We can't do this.
Wow.
You know, it's like you sit there and you panic. It's like, I'm not going back to those people. They were lovely people, really. So we did February, March, April. So April, we did it virtually. It wasn't that great because I didn't know what I was doing. Then the following February, what came in? What came in April, May, June, July, August, September, October. We did the October in my yard. So we took the front yard, the driveway, and the back. I already have a bar in the backyard. So we just put up more tents, and we had 3 days in my backyard, and it was packed.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Even in COVID. We love it.
Even in COVID, everyone was safe, and I make sanitizer, so we all walked around spraying. You know, plus there was the bar. Everybody had alcohol. They said, well, okay. Everyone
Was it open bar or cash bar?
Cash bar. I am a nonprofit. It's cash, credit card, PayPal, Cash App, Stripe.
I love it.
I love that. I love that. I love it.
Self-funded nonprofit. We are not
Gotcha.
getting any money. So yes, by all means.
So this is the first time that you're opening up again, and no. Okay.
No, in April, there's a venue near me called Thomasina's on Linden Boulevard in Queens. We were 2 days there. It's a huge space, and they let us use the space.
So this October 23rd is another red carpet.
Yes.
So tell us what would John, myself, and Joanne, Andre, what is expect? What's the cost? What if you want to participate? Tell us more. Like let us know what to do.
Okay. Well, you can go on our website, which is Queens Underground. Excuse me, what's this called? Queens Underground 718.com.
Queens Underground.
Yes.
718.com.
Yes. So the tickets are there. This October, because we've gone through and we're still in like 2 years of COVID, as you see my friend back there, it is film festival and Halloween costume party.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
We need to have a good time and celebrate life. We have lost so many people. So we just felt that it was time for everyone to not just only get dressed up, but come in costume, go across the red carpet in costume, and have a good time. So when you come in, there will be decorations outside because it has a huge lawn, Jamaica Performing Arts Center. Then you'll come in. I'm sure there's going to be scary stuff like him when you come in. So there'll be the red carpet hosts will be in the lobby. Downstairs will be the food and spooky beverages. In the auditorium and balcony will be the film festival for 3/4 of the night. So it starts at 7. So the film festival, we're showing movie shorts, music, dance, poetry, videos, and In Vain, a web series, a new movie that's coming out of Brooklyn that was half shot in Queens. And that'll be till about 9:30 p.m. Intermission, go shop with the vendors, go have a drink, go outside, and then come back for the party. and we're choosing the best male and best female costume with a trophy and cash, and they can go shopping with the vendors.
Nice, nice.
Okay.
Will there be like a little casino table there too? Because then I went to
That's going. Listen, next February, my theme is going to be wild. So I don't rule anything out. Every year we try to add a theme. So February is Black History Month, and we know the real Southern Black history. So there was a bunch of stuff, that our families did to survive. I don't rule it out.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
So elaborate more on the different types of film someone could expect to see when you
Okay.
build it.
For the movie shorts and full-length features, you have the different genres, which would be drama, comedy, animation. We have one claymation. So it's just claymation. The claymation.
Okay. What is that?
Claymation is like that stop motion. So someone makes a clay character, they pose the character, they film it, they stop, then they pose it again. And then at the end of the day, you're running all that footage together like Gumby.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you said Gumby, we all
I'm trying to think of a reference. So Gumby would be the closest one. So you have all the different genres, action, and we do have a couple of horror movies, because I'm noticing Black folks are now getting into horror, and
not over here.
We don't get killed first.
Nope.
Not this time, because the directors are Black. See, that was the secret. Okay, so we have Black directors. Okay, so no, we're not getting killed first. So that's pretty cool.
Were all these films, where were they filmed? In New York or?
We have 9 countries this time. It's Ghana, Brazil, oh gosh, the United States.
Oh, okay.
I know. I just looked at from Iran and a couple other places. I know there's 9 different countries. I just can't recall all of them right
so
now.
basically, you have all the films already.
Yes.
I believe my aunt Olivia, her film will be I don't remember what Alicita. That will be present as well.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the animation, and we have one. So we have 2 animations and 1 claymation. So that one is one of them. Yes.
Yeah. So that's actually my aunt. I don't know if she told you that she's my
No,
aunt.
she didn't tell me that part. Cool.
Yeah.
But you did.
Yeah, she's my aunt.
Nice.
Of course, I'm not calling her auntie like she wants. So yeah,
I understand.
You're 12 months and 2 weeks older than me. It's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not. Yeah, but it's my aunt.
We understand.
Yeah, very proud of her work. So what did these contributors get for participating in the film festival? So you say you have 9 different countries. How many short films? How many this? What did they get? Did they get an award, a plaque? Somebody? Are we the audience? Tell us what to expect. Are the audience voting on something to say this person win? Tell us a little bit more. I've never been to a film festival, so
okay.
I'm very ignorant of it. I don't know. Have you been, John?
Mm-mm.
Have you been? I have never been, so I'm just
My
asking.
cousin, she's very involved in the film festival. Not the Black owned, but mainly she's actually moving out to California just to deal more with the film. Every year that they have it here, I'm excited to hear that this is a Black film festival.
Yes,
That's
me too. I'm very excited about
One
that.
of our previous guests, Lisa Walters. I don't know if that name rings a bell for you, but she has a nice little pop-up shop that does identify. We could talk off air, and I could make sure that introduction happens.
Make sure that happens.
But she used to. Yeah, I'll make sure. Just remind me, and then we'll Andre, whatever, we can connect, and Lisa. But she does a pop-up shop, the film festival, those kind of things that you're talking about. And we have what about like Andre didn't tell you that, but he's also an author. So he's written a book, actually. So the film festival is just about those just in film, right? In whatever shape that looks like, not about like authors or anything. I mean, again, I'm ignorant. Please forgive me.
It's okay. All right. So what happens is there's the film festival, then we also have the pop-up shop. Right? So book authors, people who sell merchandise, because I also make soap.
Okay, I'm sorry, say it again.
I make soap.
I used to do
you
that.
sew.
No, well, I do that too.
Soap.
But I used to make
Oh,
soap.
soap.
And
SOAP.
I do sew. I'm a visual artist as well. I paint on clothing.
Right. No. Because remember that we have the connection in with Cole. I thought you said so.
SEW. No, I do both.
Yeah. No. But you were talking about soap, as in.
Yes. So we have the pop up. So you always have vendors there. So meaning a book author could have a table. We have food vendors. We have merchandise vendors. And a lot of the filmmakers have merchandise.
And liquor vendors.
I'm not supposed to say that out loud, but.
It's called libation.
Yeah, we call it.
Absolutely.
It's not that you're saying it wrong, right? You're not saying it wrong by saying you have liquor vendors, because the vendors have to sell their products.
Correct.
And it's about selling products, right?
Yes. Yeah, okay, but I'm going to leave that one alone.
Yeah.
At the moment, all kinds of laws and all of that. So what happens is filmmakers submit their project to a film festival. The judges decide if the project is going to be accepted into the festival. That's part one. Then once it's accepted, then the judges decide which one wins. And that's done at the end. So that's the whole process. So when the audience comes in, they're seeing the selection of movies, projects that were chosen to be screened in the film festival.
Right.
And then typically at the end, not all festivals have a winner, because sometimes we don't do that. Like for Black History Month, I don't like to pick a winner, because to me, it feels like we're once again competing, where we're creating that platform and that environment where I must win over you. It's a showcase of talent. Everyone come out. So we do community awards, but not an award for best film. That disturbs me. October and April, fine, we can do that. So that's what happens. So you're, as an audience member, you're sitting there and you have no idea which film won, right? So it's not until the last day that they get up and announce which film won.
So a person has to come all 3 days, not just one day?
I mean, you have the, yes, I'm going to say, yes, the person has to come all three. You have to buy tickets for all 3 days. No, you don't. And not all festivals are 3 days. The October 23rd is just one day. February will be one day, and we pick up Black History Month again in April, because February has unpredictable weather. I don't want a snowstorm, so we do one day and then pick that back up. So as an audience member, you're just sitting there taking it all in. For the filmmaker, it's a big deal, because they were selected to be in the film festival. Most of the time, they'll come out. So they're sitting with the audience, right? They're sitting there among people not knowing who they are, watching the film through their eyes. That's the payoff. Because when you hear that audience clap or they go, what? That's the payoff. The trophies are great, because it's just to have something on your shelf. But those feelings, because the filmmaker, especially us, right? We're taking our money, getting Pookie in them, getting everybody.
Say that again, Doc.
Right?
Say that again. We're taking
exactly. We're getting Pookie and them to come. You're gonna play this character. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. You're gonna show up on time. So it's this whole process, and it can take anywhere from 1 month to a year. That's a huge investment. Then it's the post production, which is all of that editing. And then you have to add the music, and then you have to add, the credits. Then you're submitting to a film festival, hoping that they see your vision, whoever they are.
How long is each film that's sent to the film festival for doing?
They range, but a movie short is typically under 20 minutes. A web series episode is typically under 30. A full feature should be under 90. A music, dance, or poetry video is under 5 minutes. A business commercial should be no longer than 1 minute, because it's in a film festival. It can be longer than 30 seconds, so no longer than 1 minute.
And is it too late for any entry or anything like that?
Yes, the film festival is next week. So close.
Well, I mean, again, I don't know.
No. She's laughing. She's like, no. Because the all of the movies were selected, then they have to be put in a lineup. The playbill has to be created, and Adrienne must have at least 1 day of rest before the festival. The last couple of years, the people who have my cell phone, listen, can you do me a favor? I'm like, sure, go ahead. That's burnout because everything has to line up. The files have to be lined up. Plus, we're also going to be on a virtual platform. So those files also have to be put on a virtual platform. Then the playbill has to be created and put up online. So with all of those steps, my last deadline is way longer than it should be. Most film festivals, the deadline is about 3 or 4 months before the actual film festival.
So
wait, I want to ask us something which is important for all the people who are interested in filming and acting and getting into this industry. How and what advice can you give them, and can they intern with you?
Yes, we definitely need interns. The best advice I can give, honestly, is to go to film festivals or premieres and start talking to people. Because, you know, in our film festival, a lot of people have gotten jobs that way because you're right there and everyone is in a festive mood, you know, and you just go up and, hi, my name is Susie. I'd like to be, you're going to be an actress? Pookie, get her. So a lot of times that's how it happens. And one of our actresses, she was cast in a commercial. We have filmmakers who have been, one thing I want to say is our retention rate is very high. I have filmmakers who have come back 5 seasons already.
Oh, nice.
Different or the same projects, but everyone, we're like a family. So everyone, you know, comes back. So you never know what's going to happen. The other part of a film festival is when you have more days, you have panel discussions, which means a couple of the filmmakers will sit and they will, you know, answer the pre-written questions, but then the audience can also ask questions. That's the other payoff of the filmmaker, because now they're sitting in front of you going, this is my baby and this is why I did it and don't you love it, blah, you know what I mean? But it gets very real because, again, we are self-funding our projects. Nobody's going to daddy and going, I need 60 grand. And these cameras are expensive.
Yes, it is.
Does a person who enters the film festival have to pay to be
Yes.
So what is that? If you film, I'm not talking about the audience. I'm talking about the participants.
Yes. When you submit to a film festival, yes, you're paying to submit. That range.
You're paying to submit. Okay.
Yes, you're paying.
So tell us about that so they're aware.
Yeah. So
whereas it's too late for
it's next week.
October.
The next is
February.
February is open. So
right.
we actually doing a film festival in November where a teenager is hosting it.
Oh, nice.
I think that one is open. February is definitely open. So the process is this. There are different price structures. If you submit early, is one price. Midway, it goes up a little, then it goes up a little. Then if you want to submit late, then that's another price. Then
Ain't no price gouging going on, is there?
Not with us. We're too small to do that. But I'll give you an example. We charge about $35 to $75 depending on the length of the project. If you're submitting to Tribeca or one of those, you're paying $250.
Do you guys travel to Colorado too for the film festival over there, or no?
No, we haven't been. Again, self-funded, small, trying to get sponsors. The dream is to start taking our film festival down the East Coast.
Okay.
That's
how much is it to present a video in approximately? It varies, obviously.
No, the price range
and also the pop-up shop. So people want to know about I'm sure it's not too late for a pop-up shop. So
no, it's not too late. The price to submit a video, the price ranges from $45 to $75, and that depends on the length of the project and at what point in time you submit.
Right. No, I'm talking about a music. You mentioned music video can only be 3 to 5 minutes.
Right. No, again, I'm giving you, that's the whole range.
Oh, that's okay. Got you.
Right. I think with the music videos, if you submit early, that starts out at 20. So $20 to $75. The business commercials are closer to 100 because it's a business commercial.
Gotcha. Okay. And we're talking about the pop-up shops that's also available for people to do that.
Yes. And the prices are different for general merchandise versus food versus beverages. So the regular table is $100.
Mm-hmm.
And that closes on Saturday.
Okay.
Because I have to make the list and all of that. And that's also Queens Underground 718 at gmail.com. Queens Underground 718 at gmail.com.
Perfect.
And we do the pop-ups outside of the festivals. So we have 2 holiday pop-ups coming up.
Okay. Christmas.
And again, just to remind our audience, we're talking to Dr. Adrienne Whaley, and talking about the Queens Underground Festival that's coming up next week, Saturday, the 23rd. Next week, Saturday, 23rd at Queens, Jamaica Theater.
Arts Center.
Jamaica Arts Center. I'm sorry. It's 153-10 Jamaica Avenue, right there in Queens. Jamaica, Queens, to be exact. Not Jamaica, West Indies. Not Jamaica, West Indies. Jamaica, West Indies. For you to go hang out and enjoy. What's the time of the festival?
I'm sorry?
What time does it start?
It starts at 7 p.m. And then the festival runs. This one is a short one because we need to celebrate Halloween and deal with all the decorations. So the film festival is from 7 till about 9:40 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, it's time to party.
And the party is until
midnight.
Until midnight? All right.
Until midnight.
Is it DJ Shug that's going to be the DJ?
Actually, his name is DJ Source Tones. He looks out for us. He does most of our festivals.
Okay. All right. I'm just mentioning DJ Shug. He's my DJ. He's he's beyond excellent.
DJ Godfrey is mine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, bring them out with y'all when y'all come.
Thank you.
Just keep in mind, we are a non-profit.
I love it.
Yeah. Andre was asking. I'm sorry. He hates when I say Andre, but our producer asking, do people need to be vaccinated to be able to come?
Yes, absolutely. Because all of the venues, especially the larger ones and city funded, you have to be vaccinated. Yes, and you have to bring proof of that. On the flyer, it says the vampires require proof of vaccination.
Because it's a city funded.
What's the vampire what?
The vampires require proof of vaccination. I didn't want to blame it on the venue, and we're going to have a lot of vampires there.
All right. So you mentioned. So I heard conflict in information. So I want to make sure it's red carpet but costumes.
Yes.
So you can come in dressed up or just like a costume person. That's what I want to know.
Yes, you should come in costume. It's a costume party, and we're giving awards to the best male and female.
Roger,
and you can go on the red carpet.
So this is perfect. So right here, this is perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got his costume on every day.
This is perfect. She's like, I'm not responding. John started it. John, yeah.
Fire burn.
I've never worn a costume in my life.
Me neither.
Me neither.
Couldn't fit me.
Never.
I haven't. It's something
I've gone
about
to costumes party, but I've never worn a costume. Like if they give out that little what do you call that thing? The eye.
Like the masquerade mask.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that maybe I've worn, but I've never got up and said, "Let me put on a Spider-Man" or something like that. Never.
Me either.
My father's a pastor, so he thought it was demonic to begin with.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So,
like I said, we have those of us who are still standing have survived. We have survived in the last couple of decades some pretty scary stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, if we can handle all of that, I'm at the place where I'm not afraid of, and this thing lights up and talks and the mouth
Oh,
moves.
no.
Mhm.
No.
Yes, we have a whole bunch of those. We're not playing this year.
Yeah,
We're not scared anymore.
that is awesome. We look forward to it. Hopefully, I can make it out, and the villagers can come out and enjoy the
Black Film
Black
Festival.
Film
Yes.
Festival in Queens. If you, it's ladies and gentlemen, it would be a very nice date.
It really
I'm
would.
sorry, you didn't mention ticket cost. What was the cost?
The tickets are 40 in advance and 45 at the door.
Oh, that's
All right,
good.
so it's a beautiful date for you to come in and hang out with your loved one. If you have creativity, you could come and see and get some ideas. Because you said, will there be an exhibition of the filmmakers, so they can like a table or something that people, if they have question.
Oh, no, and actually the filmmakers didn't have time to do that this year. By February, they'll do that.
Because sometimes people want to create a film and they have some questions that they want to ask. So that's
well, the filmmakers will be milling about. They'll be downstairs by the bar, so you can ask them anything.
That's like the 18th time you mentioned that bar.
Listen,
I want to know what's there.
Messages. Wait till you see the drinks. They're going to be all kinds of. We have a fabulous bartender.
All kind of monsters at the bar,
the
right?
Drinks are going to be crazy and different colors and.
What's the featured drink? What's the featured drink?
I
Monster
don't
Mash?
know. I have the
Monster
list, but
Mash.
I didn't memorize it. I'm letting the bartender do her thing.
No, I'm saying the feature drink. I get that you don't, but I'm saying.
I don't remember the name of it. I'm dealing with all the filmmakers.
Oh, got you. All right. No problem at all.
So, Doc Whalen, we want to just take this moment to thank you. All that you do, all that you do, all that you are doing, all that you have done, and all that you will continue to do into the future. Namaste, my sister. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And we look forward to more
Absolutely.
opportunities for our community, especially people of color.
Yes.
So I appreciate that.
Yes.
All right. God bless.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all very much, and I look forward to seeing you.
Yes.
Definitely.
Thank you. And don't forget, we need to reach out regarding what I spoke to you about. Okay?
Yes.
All right. And again, just in case I forget, Lisa Walters. That's her
Lisa
name.
Walters. And he really thinks I'm going to remember this, and I have a film face.
So I thought you have like a pen right next to you, so when you call me, remember the name.
It's all right.
This
All right.
Good evening. We thank you for joining us.
Thank
and
you
take
all
care.
so
All
much.
the best and great success.
Thank you. Thank
All
you
right.
all. Take care. Great show. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try to make an attempt again at Simone. So let's try to. Andre says it's working now, so let's see what happens. Ready? 3. Yeah, go ahead.
New Yorkers shared their personal stories about the vaccine.
Are you fine?
New Yorkers shared their personal stories about the vaccines.
My people, my black people, I am telling you, no one is paying me to do this. Let's go out and get vaccinated. I know the misconceptions are there, but I'm telling you, there is really nothing to be afraid of. I have a friend who's a doctor, and she's black, and she's like, listen, you better get this vaccine, and I trust her. I got my vaccine in March of this year. Yes, I did get a side effect for a day, but it was nothing in comparison to when I had COVID. I'm a perfectly healthy woman. I have nothing, no issues, no diabetes, nothing at all that you could think of. I didn't think I could get COVID, but hey, I got it. It was horrible, like having the flu 10 times over. Thank God I didn't have to go on the ventilator, but the pain, it's not worth it. But I'm urging you, my people, I am begging you, please let's not have regrets. Let's go out and get vaccinated.
Visit nyc.gov/vaccine finder or call 877-VAX for NYC.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what
Oh, so welcome back. Thank you for the opportunity. For you to have us in your lives today.
No, have us in your living room.
In your living room.
In your living rooms, in your car, wherever you are.
Yeah.
The village is back in effect, and you know something? What's up with my man Captain Kirk in space?
Hey, what was it? What was the motto for Star Trek? What was that back in the days?
I don't know. I know the Vulcan. What is it? The Vulcan.
Spock. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I come in peace.
I come in peace. It's logical. It is illogical. Right. That was him, right?
Yes.
Because everything was logical or illogical. He didn't have reason.
Where no man has gone before.
Where no man has gone before. Yeah.
No man and woman has
There you
gone
go.
before.
There you go. There you go.
But you know what? 90 years old in space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Doc, you want to go in space, Doc?
Is he taking Kaylee with him?
No.
Did you hear Prince? Huh? Did you hear Prince Megan's husband? Right. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Doc says she don't want to go in space. You don't want to go in space, Doc?
Actually, I wouldn't mind going. I would love to go in space.
No, not at all.
Why?
I'm not interested.
Now, you're not interested in a lot of things. No cannabis, no vaccine, no space. No, you like a bore, right? Not interested.
It's okay.
Right? You go for a walk. Not interested. Yeah. What's going on? You don't.
Roderick. Huh? She says, "I'm not interested.
I'm not interested. Right? Interested. That's it. Like that's her tagline. So where no man has gone before, Dr. Bryant, not interested. I just realized we don't put those together. I just realized what I just said.
But you know what? Kudos again to Jeff Bezos.
You know,
he puts his money where his mouth is. So I want to give him credit.
Things work.
Definitely big him up. And also, you know, it's just unfortunate that an incident that just happened, I think yesterday, where the young police officer was involved in an entanglement, and a young woman is dead.
Yeah, it was 2 people got shot. 2 people got shot. 1 died. Right.
You know, so I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, you know, we segued into this part. One we talk about with Harold, but the 2 guests. One talk about highlight yourself as a Black person and bringing it the people of color. And, you know, we talk about generational wealth and helping things come along. So these people at the film festival, they will develop. That's A, right? And then the B part about Harold, our first guest, we talk about the racial inequities.
Correct.
And then one of them, I think number 5 was about the violence. Right? And so what's going on within our community, why we can't do more things for the film festival and less things about the violence that's happening. And not only the 2 people got shot, but we also had a 14-year-old kid up there who on the school bus that was shot. I think it was today or yesterday that they were shot. So what's going on with this violence, man? I mean, you're trying to have racial inequities and all these things are happening. What's going on? John, you're supposed to know this, man, better than me.
Let Doc Brian tackle. Doctor?
So they showed a video not too long ago, this week, a 10-year-old child who got upset about something that happened in school. And he went back to shoot one of his classmates or whatever. Not having the correct resources in place to alleviate some of the crimes happening is first one of our problems. Not having activities for young people to do so that they steer towards violence, like that's the first option, that's another problem. You know, having people to communicate with, you know, to say, hey, you know, and the reason, before you interject, Roderick,
you knew it was coming, right? You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. So somebody lean forward. Go ahead.
So so we as a community must be more active before they look towards the gang and trying to fit in. So if we actually empower our kids and let them know that they are great in themselves, so outside to validate what they need. So there's a lack that we're not empowering our.
Doc, is layers. It's just layers. It's just layers upon
In
layers
order to
upon
do
layers
that.
upon layers. And how can we peel back those layers to really get to that innocent young child, to give them a chance, or that young adult, or peel back the trials and tribulations of life that they have, or that has created them and molded them. What can we do to get to that point? And what we have to do is we have to meet them. We have to meet them where they are.
Exactly.
And where they are is we have to go to the root, the foundation, the mere existence of it all. Family, church,
Mm-hmm.
community, environment, education.
That's true.
That is the ingredients that goes into the foundation to mold these individuals to become productive people of society. But there's a crack or cracks somewhere along that foundation that leads to deviate from where they should be.
You know, I love what you just said. I
Thank you, Doc. I like it too.
was
You're frozen, Doc.
You're
I was
frozen,
speaking
Doc.
to still.
No. Yes.
All right.
Yes. You're frozen. Yeah. I mean, you're
All
coming in and out. Is what I should say.
Doc's trying to move to the beat.
So, we were discussing how education nowadays, we lose the kids in the process because our goal is more about assessment and everything else, the bigger picture, but we do not get to know children. We do not get to know them. We do not get to the core of the individual. And you just mentioned the foundational piece. The foundational piece is knowing the individual. You know, here we are. Look at this police officer who went off and killed lover friend or whatever. But if we as a community know each other and we know, hey, you know what, something's not right,
Right,
something,
right.
ticking time
Something's
bomb.
not balanced, off balance. Something's off balance.
Exactly. Then we can intervene. But we don't grow up, nowadays it's not the same as when we were growing up. Like,
Mhm.
hey, you know what? You get into a fight, you get into something, you're upset. We do not get to know each other before tragedy occur. And then at the end, we're saying, hey, this person was a good person, or, I wish I knew, or whatever. We can interject before some of these tragedies are taking place. And that's the cure
So
violence piece is important.
the what piece?
Cure violence piece.
Uh-huh.
I give that to the mayor. See, I addressed him correctly, right? The cure violent piece is correct because it stopped some of the crimes.
Oh, you addressed it correctly because you agreed to something he's doing.
That's not true.
Hypocrite.
I'm not a hypocrite, but
Right, well, whatever. Call it whatever you want.
The cure violence piece is a good method for young people. But what about the older ones who actually are in the force, who have a little, it could be civil servant, anyone that could go off, but we won't know. So we have to take time out to get to know people.
So I don't care about controversy because I throw things out there that sometimes like you just can't. I'm gonna put some blame on the church.
Okay.
Right. What do you find in every neighborhood, in every black neighborhood? You find a church and a liquor store. Right. You drown your sorrow one ways or the other.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of parents, right, spend their time, which is important, and I don't want to say it in a negative way,
Oh boy.
praying. Your child must go to church.
Mm-hmm.
Your child must pray.
Mm-hmm.
But then you lack certain other things that the child needs.
Building a relationship.
Building a relationship with that child.
Mm-hmm. And we're all guilty of that.
Yes, we are.
Because of the rat race.
When I was growing up, John, even if my parents weren't doing it, I had YPE, Young People's Endeavor. That's what we call it. I don't know. Every church can call it different. And what you did as a young people, as a young person, was get involved. A lot of these things are now missing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there anymore. So a lot of times these young, it's not every Black family, but a large percentage of Black families go to church because it's in every, whether you're Black, whether you're Haitian, whatever African Black you are. It is the most, Saturday or Sunday is the most place that you're going to find people. If we don't start utilizing this mechanism more, not that it's not being used.
What mechanism are you talking about, Roger?
So using the church to not just, teaching parents that not just praying and reading the Bible, but really having conversations. Because sometimes these young kids, they move away.
Hold on.
Right? And then let's go to school. Hold on. Let me finish my controversy. Let's go to school as well. School is supposed to serve two purposes. And like Joanne said, you're talking about assessment. You're not talking about real social interaction. How do you interact socially? That needs to happen. That needs to happen where students are going to listen the most. And students listen. When was the last time a pastor's coming and you know that's your pastor that you start doing negative things?
You know what?
Or if your teacher's coming and teacher's really interactive, you're not doing everything.
He wants to blame the church.
I'm blaming everybody. I'm blaming everybody.
With 2 minutes
blame yourself.
I'm blaming myself too, as parent. Yes, as a parent. I'm blaming everybody. Because sometimes we are afraid. We are afraid to put blames where they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
I don't need you to blame me. I need you to resolve.
No,
right.
We spend
that's
too
what
much.
we're working
We
on.
spent no. You spend too much pointing out the error instead of pointing the way to correct.
So
that
didn't
error.
I just point it out? I spoke about.
So how do we correct it?
So
with
then
the church?
fine, we go back to what. But let's talk about the church. The church goes back to parenting skills.
Hold on. So
Wait.
You see?
Because I will tell you one thing, John.
You see, he bring this up.
Wait, I'm going to ask you a question. Do more parents go to church than they go to parent-teachers conference?
Well, hey, I'm going to stop you.
Answer the question.
With
Do
COVID
more
right
parents
now,
go to church every Sunday or Saturday than they actually attend their child's school?
I would say those parents who attend church on Saturday or Sunday do attend the parent-teacher conference.
I said, where do they go the most?
They go both.
No. 100% disagree. Joanne? Go ahead, Joanne. We're not talking about you. Let's talk about that. Where is it more instilled that you see your parents at? The church or in school?
I'll
Talk the
agree
truth.
with John.
No.
Both.
Okay, you're a bunch of cowards. You're a bunch of cowards. I'm not saying
we're not
no.
cowards.
So
We
what
understand
I'm not
that
blaming-
we
by the way,
need more
by the way-
than 30 seconds to answer this.
I'm not per se.
We're going to have to continue
I'm
this.
saying we have to start utilizing whatever access to resources that we get.
Villagers, we want to
Yes.
again for tuning in to the village.
Yes.
This was a lively discussion. It got lively 2 minutes before we were supposed to. That's usually with the daily. This is what he does. But Rudy, take us out. Thank you.
I just want to be clear, and as we go, I'm saying in order to affect,
Here we go,
we
ladies
need,
and gentlemen.
wait, and then we can continue this conversation. I'll make sure put that
So
as
why
a
you got to
topic,
get it? It should be ending now,
Right.
And so we don't need you to.
right? Is that We need to utilize all of our resources because this violence at young people is getting out of hand, and we have to try to curb it. That's ultimately, but we could talk about the discussion later. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you. Wait, I'm sorry. John, last word?
To be continued.
Dr. Brian?
Keep laughing, keep smiling, and be healthy. God bless.
God bless. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. You've been watching, listening, viewing The Village, right here with your host, Roger Daly, co-host John Sampson, and Dr. Joanne Bryan, where we're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any point, at any age, starting from today. Success is not just spoken, it is done. God bless, and we'll see you next week. And may my sister, today marks 9 years since her passing.
May she rest in peace.
May her soul forever rest in peace. Terry and Llewellyn, you know, I love you. Our family loves you, and we miss you. God bless. Have a great evening.
Good night.
Good night, all.